Time to get a check of the forecast now. So Adam Claiborne joins us. What to expect the rest of the day? Probably rain.
It is here, right? So we are starting off this fall pattern, which is going to be bringing in more chances of rain. And I just wanted to show you just the difference right now that we're seeing now here across the western U.S. as opposed to last week. You're seeing a lot more of the warmer weather across the eastern half of the country. Now we see this big dip in the jet stream, allowing that colder air to come south from Canada, and that has allowed our temperatures to drop significantly. No more of those 70s or 80s. We're back down to the 50s for highs most days, and even some spots even saw just generally the 40s. Now, the rainfall so far today, we picked up about 1/10 of an inch out at SeaTac Airport, about 1/10 of an inch also in Olympia, a little more than that, and then getting closer to 1/2 inch around Shelton. Higher amounts, the tip of the Olympic Peninsula, around 3/4 to an inch, and we still have more rain to go here as we go throughout the day. So definitely a much wetter pattern, and we're going to use all this rain because we got some dry soil out there, but also at the same time too, we don't want it to come down too heavily in some spots initially. We're going to talk about that here in a second. Granite Falls school net site there, cloudy skies, a few light sprinkles kind of here and there, but check out the difference as you go a little farther north. Bellingham, we'll see a little more of the sunshine today. Not to say we don't get any more rain, but I think we'll be one of the drier spots here as we go later into Monday afternoon. Currently here in Seattle, nothing but clouds, a few areas of light mist or sprinkles. We're sitting at 50 degrees, and that south wind coming in at about 9 miles per hour. Will be breezy at times, closer to 10, maybe 15, or possibly even 20 to add a little more of that chill in the air. Upper 40s in Bremerton, low 50s in Tacoma. We're sitting at 52 in Olympia, mid 50s down with Mount Vernon, and then seeing the 50s also as you go around the coast. So here's what's happening right now. We do have areas of rain right there. Generally, it looks like between Highway 2 and I-90. We're seeing some of those showers too as you go farther off towards the west, which is going to keep those chances more off and on here. The tip of the Olympic Peninsula, Forks around Quileute, Neah Bay, moving up farther towards the east through the Strait of Juan de Fuca around Port Angeles and Sequim. We'll continue to see that pop up as we go throughout the day. And then you go here farther south and east, and mainly areas here, King and Snohomish County is where we're going to deal with some convergence. So a little bit of a convergence zone helping to keep those showers around as we go deeper on into the day. But Highway 2 going to be wet until you get up a little higher in the atmosphere, higher in altitude, where we are dealing with some snow as you go up above 4,000 feet. And the same here, especially as you go up across areas of the northern Cascades where we're dealing with more of that too. As we take a live or big broad look of what's happening, we have this system moving out of here, but the next one coming out of the Gulf of Alaska is going to head right towards us. And for tomorrow, that is going to bring in more widespread heavy rainfall and more of a steady rainfall as we head on into that time. Zooming back in, winter weather advisory out for the northern Cascades. And that's going to be until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Snow levels above 4,000 feet. Accumulations anywhere between 4 to 8 inches. And then you go south of there, and that's where we have some of those possibilities, as I was alluding to, maybe some flash flooding and some of the recent wildfire burn scars, some debris flows with some of the heavier rain initially on that. So just something to keep in mind. Not to say that is exactly going to happen or definitely going to happen, but that flash flood watch until 1 p.m. heading into tomorrow afternoon. For the rest of today, showers more off and on. You'll see those areas of snow up across the higher terrain, and then we'll go into the day tomorrow, 6 a.m. Starting off relatively dry, so your drive into work, not too much of an issue. It's later on into the afternoon around lunch and heading into the evening commute that you are going to have more of that rain move on by. We'll see anywhere between maybe an inch, maybe 1.5 inches in some spots. So a good amount of rain all the way through Wednesday before we do get a break on Thursday with a high of 60. And then we start to see things cool back down with more rain to come Friday through Sunday.